Who is it?
Hey,
Vinny!
dude, are you there?
Hey, what's up,
I'm
my
here,
brother?
man.
How are you,
Dude, I don't
man?
have a scary story, man.
I was like, I'm gonna have pretty much a heart attack. I'm like having a heart attack, but I can't scream or anything. Basically, laying on the floor, panicking.
Oh!
No, you weren't. You weren't.
Oh!
You built the place. I haven't seen the Hopi in thousands of years. Don't make fun of my people. Period.
Sorry,
I'll pull out
grandfather.
your ass and cut you up into little bitty bits.
Facebook page down because people said Richie from Boston's gay. He's gay. I'm gay. I'm a gay man.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, you can prosecute me for that if you like.
No, it's not why I'm doing that. I'm just saying there's a lot
But
of...
that is what you did.
Bigelow started buying websites, including one in British Columbia, Canada. So all of a sudden, this kind of triggered Brian Vike.
Welcome back to Third Phase of the Moon. Blake Cousins here. We've got a special report for you. We've got a few UFO videos that we want to share with you.
Welcome back, everybody. Blake Cousins, along with Orlando Smith and Brent Cousins, we're going to be going over incredible imagery.
Third phase of the moon. Third phase of the moon.
Ten, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah.
All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. How you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're okay. You know, yesterday, there wasn't supposed to be a show. Just so you know, it wasn't supposed to be. I put the wrong date in, to be honest. It was supposed to be for tonight. So I'm sorry if you were here. If the show doesn't start by 10 after, I wouldn't hang out any longer. Yeah, it's not happening. I mean, the odds are, yeah. And sometimes, you know, it happens, you know, fall asleep, but damn it. So I feel bad about that, but that's okay. You know, it's a free show anyway. It's not like, you know, you have to be here. Right? But you want to be, and I feel bad. It happened. What are you gonna do? I didn't mean it, and I apologize. Good night, everybody. No, yeah, I'm glad you're here. I know what you see in the thumbnail: time travel, mind travel. What we know should scare you. And when I created that, I was in a different mood. Yeah, you know, time travel, I'm not a big fan of it. I believe there's a possibility, but I don't believe it'll ever be successful. Excuse the hell out of me, it'd be successful. That was unbelievable right now. Yeah. So we've got so much to talk about. Everybody is talking about that stupid big UFO that can't be moved. They're talking about Trump. Trump's going to give disclosure July 8th. Apparently not. Now, there's some pushback on that. It's supposedly a fake. Somebody posted, if you see anybody saying that Trump is going to disclose UFOs, just know that it's not real. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. Nothing is real. We are all... I'm sorry, Jim Carrey came to my mind. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me pull this. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, there we go. Got some sightings to go over. Oh my God. The Epstein files. Huh? Alex Klokus is in the Epstein files. Alex Klokus is the lead investigator in the UFO disclosure group Skywatcher that launched last year. How does that grab your ass cream? How does that grab your ass cream? How? Why are we doing this? And they also said left-handed gays and children were more psychic. Let me read that to you again. Skywatcher purported that psionic assets would use psychic abilities to summon UFOs. They also said left-handed gays and children were more psychic. No, I think gays and children are more creative. Wouldn't you agree? A child has an imagination because it doesn't have any real life experience. If you're gay, you don't have real life experience as the thing you want to be. You want to be a man? You don't know what it's like to be a... I mean, this is what we're talking... I mean, seriously? That can't be true. That just can't be. How can gays and children? You see, to me that sounds a little fishy. Well, it is the Epstein files. Dun-dun-dun-shh. Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate it. A little late. Who's here tonight? We'll do a quick roll call. How you doing, Paris Diamonds? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Kelly Lewis, the EW is here. Welcome to the show. Brian Yates, everybody. Brian Yates. Welcome to the show. Vamp Skyda, huh? That's what I thought. Welcome to this show. Juge, what do you say, JJ? Welcome to the show. Metalhead. Welcome to Glenn Collins, Big Band Man. What do you say there, Chief? Welcome to the show. David Wilcox, not Wilcock. Welcome to the show after 7 o'clock. Good to see you. Andrew Ibarra. Sorry. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. All right. We don't have a lot of people like we... Caballion's here. Welcome to the show. So we'll just go quick. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. If I didn't say your name, doesn't mean I don't love you. It means that's all the names for now. See? And we got a little bit of show to do, so let's get started. Welcome to the show. I don't know why it's quiet. It feels really quiet. So A lot of stuff going on. People still talking about the big UFO, right? Can't move it. But now everybody seems to know. Burleson says that he knows now, right? Didn't he say something like that? I don't know. I have it here. Let me pull it up. Oh, yeah. Something crazy is going on with the sun. We're going to talk about that. 20-year-old. Shocking stories of time travelers that will leave you absolutely speechless. We know some of those time travel stories. We've talked about them in the past. Oh, I didn't know Chuck Negron died. Oh, that's right. Wasn't it yesterday? Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. Is anyone out there? Anyone? If UAPs are interstellar travelers, certain things should be unavoidable. Arrival vectors, deceleration signatures, logistic tails, failures, recovery operations, habitation volume, redundancy, escalation over time. Long distance travel doesn't arrive minimalist. What we actually observe is the opposite. Small craft, no visible support infrastructure, no buildup of presence, no debris, no recovery events, no escorts, no consistent arrival or departure windows, and behavior that looks persistent, local, and bounded rather than exploratory or expansionist. Big words, huh? FTL or simulation explanations don't solve this. They just remove constraints without adding obligations. That is true. Any propulsion or access mechanism still has consequences you'd expect to see somewhere. I'm not claiming a solution. I'm saying the behavior rules out several popular ones. If you're someone who thinks in terms of what should exist if X were true, what's conspicuously absent? Why persistence without expansion matters? I genuinely want to hear your take. No, I don't want to hear your take. If your answer starts with anything is possible, we're probably not having the same conversation. That is extremely smart. That was from Opportunity Low on Reddit. Wrote that. And I thought it was interesting because that is true. You know, if there were going to be, you know, we see Star Wars, Star Trek, and they're in hyperspace, right? Then all of a sudden they come out of hyperspace. And all the ships start showing up in the screen. Right? There's 25, 35 ships in the convoy. I don't think that's how it works. You got to have if you're going to travel interstellar, you are going to have to go faster than the speed of light to make it worth getting somewhere. You're not going to survive the travel. Closest star is what, 65 years away if you go speed of light, something like that. So, was it Vega? Vega. But I like that because there would have to be some sort of residual effect of the arrival of an interstellar ship. I would imagine there would be some cool down, you know, along the way. If it's going that fast, we would see something leaving a signature somewhere if it was arriving. I'm wondering. We think we are so smart, right? We know it. We got all the answers, don't we? And I bet you none of that's true. I bet you we wouldn't know if the aliens were arriving here in the big UFO mothership. I bet you they're already here and we didn't see them coming. That's all. I love it how people think because of propulsion, there's, going to be residual effects. Yeah. With our technology, maybe. Now we're there. You see all these heads? These are all the gods that I've talked to. This is a really weird hat. I don't have a hat like this. It's made out of, I don't know what kind of fabric, but it's really weird. It's like the inside is unusually weird. I don't know. But it is, I wouldn't wear this hat outside. No, it's just for the show. This show. For Goof On. All right. I got to show you this. All right. So, over the years in this field, you come across all sorts of hoaxers. And one of them was this guy. I don't know if it's true, but it supposedly is, who spent years making those alien figurines that were allegedly unearthed. I think it was in Peru, like Brazil. I can't remember. It was over there. And, everybody, oh, it's amazing. Oh, my God, it's real. It showed disc-shaped object, alien grays. It was like the whole gamut of every type of alien you can imagine. And it was all here. And this guy had them found, and then he was selling them, I think, right? Well, another saucer-shaped artifact, it was unearthed in Mexico. Yeah, this one with a crystal sphere, like I'll show you in a minute, but also with engravings similar to that of the Buga sphere. Oh, boy. I'll be all right. Very detailed and very information heavy as well, they say. I can't help but laugh because it looks so stupid. I hate this. This looks exactly like you would expect a fake to look. Boop. You didn't know, huh? You didn't think it would look so pretty. Watch. There's no volume. That's it. And here we've got the crystal ball. That's where all the power goes in and out. Look, it's the same as the Buga's fake. None of this is real. I know for a fact. None of this is real. I mean, it's real. We can see it. And no, this is not AI. This is real. They supposedly found it. They didn't find anything. Very silly. It's beautiful, though. I want it. I'd love to have that spinning around. Look, it even has a cord going to it to make it turn. You see this? Look, they have it on some sort of microwave dish. Oh, it's Mexico. What else are they going to use? If you look inside, you can see me face, and on the other side, thank you for the no sound. We appreciate that. Yeah, it's really nice not to have sound. Can't get any. It's beautiful, isn't it? Just beautiful. You got a sun there above the pyramids, look, and then underneath you see how you know it's fake? Because underneath the pyramids, the shafts that go down 4 to 6 kilometers, they would have known about the shafts and they didn't. Fake. Fake, 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 fake. The panting, the groaning, the screaming, the moaning. Fake, 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 fake. You mean you faked it? Not bad, huh? How often did you do this? All the time. All the time. I just didn't have them back then, Jerry. But I thought I was good. She's like Meryl Streep. Anyway, there you go. There's your magical, fictitious sphere of all spheres. I'm sorry, disc of all discs. Oh, that's the bottom? Oh, look at that. I didn't realize that was the bottom. He's a bottom. Boop, boop, boop. How they turn it over like that and it's still low to the ground? They can this whole that whole thing comes out. That's right. Isn't this fun? All the things that people try to get away with on this planet. You don't need to fake anything. Oh, God. This is embarrassing, I gotta tell you. It is. Next. Here you go. We'll just go through the world of ufology. Here you go. There is Eric Burleson knows the classified location of the UFO too big to move. Stupid. There is reportedly an object that is not in this country that is so large it cannot be moved. That they've built an entire building around it. Greer, or another individual, has actually mentioned this site, but I'm not going to mention it because it's a classified location. I'm requesting to get to it. It's going to involve a lot to make that happen, but that may be the final destination.
Reportedly an object that is not in this country that is so large it cannot be moved.
I just said that.
That they've built an entire building around it. And I think either Greer or another individual has actually mentioned this site, but I'm not going to mention it because it is a classified location. But there is a really apparent, there's reported a really large object, and that's one of the locations that I'm requesting to get to. It's going to be it
sounds like he's lying out his aspartame.
Involve a lot to make that happen, but
I mean, a lot of stuttering and stammering, right? Listen to all the stutter and stimmers.
There's reportedly an object that is not in this country that is so large it cannot be moved. That they've built an entire building around it, and I think either Greer or another individual has actually mentioned this site, but I'm not going to mention it because it is a classified location. But there is a really there's reported
3
a really large object, and that's one of
4
the locations that I'm requesting
5
to get to. It's
6
going to involve
7
a lot to make that happen, but that may be the final destination. There
7 or 8. I think there's 7 or 8 of them there. There's definitely 7. 7 stammers and stutters. Get Porky Pig in there to give me the UFO reports next time there, Burleson. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. In this, oh, boy. See, you can't, I don't trust these people. I don't trust these sources that I get these from. Skywatch Signal, I'm not trusting this source at all. Trump pushes Pentagon to open UFO sites as lawmakers hint at UFO craft and NHI bodies. What? Really? For decades, the UFO issue lived in the cultural basement, a mix of ridiculous pulp science fiction and half-remembered sightings kept it safely outside the machinery of serious governance. That era is thankfully over, it would seem. What is unfolding now is a slow, grinding power struggle over who controls access to information buried inside the U.S. national security state. That is horse cock. That is horse shh. That is a pile of poop. At the center of this moment, sits a surprising convergence. President Donald Trump, congressional investigators, and a group of lawmakers increasingly frustrated with Pentagon stonewalling. The claim, deriving sensational headlines, is that Congress is seeking access to Pentagon-controlled sites tied to unidentified aerial phenomenon with hints of recovered materials, craft, and even bodies. The reality is more restrained, but in no way less serious. This is not about aliens. It's about oversight, classification, and government apparatus that may have slipped way beyond civilization control. I'm not going to read all this. I guess we can imagine. Look at all this they want me to read. They don't pay me enough. I'll read all that for $20. Thank you. But yeah, no. I'm not reading all this. I think I'm getting the flu. I think I have the flu. You know when you get that feeling inside your mouth, like a burning, like your mouth is hot? Yeah, I think I've got the flu. That's what's wrong. Yeah. I don't... They go into what I was just reading. Everything we already know. The legacy programs, the craft, the bodies, It's just so much fluff. It's annoying. It really is. And I don't want to get into all that. It's like, I'm going to tell you everything you already know. I'm not going to tell you everything you already know. Grush said it the day he came out. No reason to keep, ringing that same bell. It's old just hearing the same stupidity. Oh, we got bodies. We got this. We've got the legacy program. Blah, blah, blah. Show me, shut up. That's it. Stop talking and show us. This guy was a remote viewer. What is it, Montague, Joseph McMonaghy?
It's part of a non-identified flying object recovery team for 15 years. And spent a lot of time at a multitude of different crash sites. And it just the data that we were able to collect, let's say out of 12 different sites, 11 of them were our stuff. Okay. It was clear when you actually got there and looked at the evidence on the ground and looked at the damaged aircraft that something might have collided with and that sort of thing. We were able to find evidence that it was our government or our planes or our advanced weaponry, that sort of thing that the government just didn't want people knowing about.
Funny. He hasn't mentioned adversary craft. Isn't that cute?
There was one case, however, that seemed to be real. And that's the one case that also seemed to have had a live entity on board. Okay. And, but everything, we found the logbook at I think it was the Los Angeles Times. We found the logbook where parts or pieces were logged in and locked in a safe there. We found notes from the person who went out to photograph it. And since the event occurred directly over what's called a dry mine, it's where they shovel dirt into buckets out in the desert and then take it home and wash it out. It was a dry mine, and so we figured it had to be registered, and it was, and we were able to, after about 10 days of searching, find the actual dry mine and see the evidence there. And you could still see where the heavy equipment had come in and moved the object, whatever the object was, and the full impact of how the object wedged into the side of a hill gave the impression that it was oblique and flat, more.
God, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How it wedged in, of course, because you know why? That's what we see in all the depictions of Roswell. A disc-shaped craft wedged into the ground. I mean, this is just stupid.
Flat and not. And we even found the aircraft that it collided with, where it augured into the desert.
You know, in a few years, I am going to come out and say that I have been working with the CIA, and the whole time I have been infiltrating ufology for Lou Elizondo. That's why I say so many things against him, because I'm the disinfo dick for Lou Elizondo. I'm to get you thinking this way while he's doing his stuff that way. Soon, I'll tell you the whole truth. Maybe then. Unreal. What a silly, weird world we're living in. Really. What's the looming threat that nobody's talking about? Anybody? I don't know. There is a big threat. I gotta show you this, though. I love Bigfoot. Like, I really do. I don't know if it exists, but it may. I've got to show you this new footage. This is the second angle of the Colorado Bigfoot. I guess a whitewater rafting crew with the Colorado River Expedition was traveling down the upper Colorado River and pulled ashore for a break, and that's when they spotted this creature only 500 yards away. Let me show you the goods in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Safe word. Hey, how you doing? All right, I see you up there. God, that looks stupid. It looks like a guy in a costume to me. It totally looks like a dude in a costume. But I think that has breasts. I think there's breasts on this thing. I saw something. Let's see if we can get in there. I think I saw a nipple. It doesn't work. Right there. There's something there. This looks like a woman, maybe. There's some sort of like protrusion, it seems like a pro titty. Maybe it's a big titty. See, Bigfoot's the male, big tit's the woman, female. Big tit. It's big tit. Well, that's the new big tit footage. Gigantoboob. That's not nice. Well, Greer just never seems to amaze. No, he doesn't. This guy comes up with all the answers. He now is saying that he claims that a UFO was shot down with a directed energy weapon and is too big to move in South Korea. That's the object that Cuckold was talking about. Direct energy weapon, my aspartame.
The outside Seoul, South Korea, where there was a huge extraterrestrial vehicle that they had downed with apparently some type of electronic warfare system that was they had to carve out a huge part of the mountain just to contain this object because it was too big to move to any other site, and that it is still there. So this is just sort of like you had dealt with a facility outside Seoul, South Korea, where there was a huge extraterrestrial vehicle that they had downed with apparently some type of electronic warfare system that was they had to carve out a huge part of the mountain just to contain this object because it was too big to move to any other site.
So they just built a building around it. And of course, it would be in South Korea. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? I got some footage to show you. I know a lot of you out there love this type of footage. New footage from an MQ-9 Reaper drone has been released, showcasing purported instantaneous acceleration of an unidentified flying object. While patrolling the Jordanian-Syrian border in 2021, the drone's high-tech sensor platform locked onto an unidentified object. The lock is then broken, and whatever this was seemingly vanished into a burst of speed that mocks our most advanced aeronautics. Footage released courtesy of Jeremy Corbell and George Knapster. In 3, 2, go. Can you get me out of there? Just hide me. Too quiet, right? It's like something's wrong. Look at this. This is what they've released to us. Can't see anything. All they show us are dots. I am so unimpressed. Seriously unimpressed. Let's watch it take off. Is that it? There it goes. See that? See it take off? Watch. Here it goes. Here it goes. Looks like every other fake we've seen, right? Watch. Here we go. Where'd it go? I don't know. Now they did it 25% slower. 5% speed. All right, what are we doing? Is it moving? What are we? Oh, here we go again. They just love this shit, right? This is terrible. This proves nothing. All we have is white matter. Dirt. Watch this in normal speed. Watch what? Exactly. You ready? All right, it's time. Time traveler. This is a good story, actually. I don't know if you guys heard of this story, but it is a good one.
Imagine you had
This is the man from 2256, he just said.
The chance to travel just a few days into the past simply to place the right lottery numbers you remembered and hit the jackpot. Pretty tempting, right?
Weed.
This shocking case is about a man who claimed and even swore that he came straight from the year 2256, and he turned his knowledge of the future into a staggering amount of money. The mysterious man in question was named Andrew Carlson, and on March 19, 2003, he was arrested by the Securities and Exchange Commission for insider trading. He successfully made 126 extremely high-risk stock trades and turned an initial investment of just $800 into more than $350 million within only 2 weeks. Right in the middle of a financial crisis in which countless investors suffered massive losses, an outcome that left even experienced market experts completely speechless. Absolutely insane. For investigators, there seemed to be only one logical explanation for how Andrew Carlson pulled this off: insider trading. There was simply no other way to explain such a perfect success rate, but Carlson firmly denied being involved in insider trading in any form. Instead, he presented an explanation no one expected. He claimed he was a time traveler from the future. According to his statement, he came from the year 2256 and deliberately traveled back to 2003 using a time machine to trade on the stock market. To the authorities, this sounded like a ridiculous excuse. To others, it sounded like the beginning of an unbelievable mystery. Carlson went on to explain that in his time, everyone knew about the stock market crash of 2003. These events were as well known in the future as historical facts. That was exactly why he returned to the past, he said, to test whether this knowledge could truly be turned into fast money.
Sorry, I had to say something. Do you really believe in 2,200, whatever many years in the future, they're talking about the 2003 stock market crash? Everybody knows about it. No, everybody knows about what happened in the 1930s, the stock market, that one. Anyway, I thought that was weird. Anyway, I won't interrupt.
A risky experiment with a perfect outcome.
Much.
He never revealed the exact location of his time machine. However, he offered authorities something that overshadowed everything else: exclusive knowledge from the future.
It's a true story.
Among other things, he promised information about a cure for cancer, knowledge that could change the world forever, but only under one condition. He had to be released from prison immediately, and he had to be given the opportunity to return to his time, the year 2256. Even more mysterious, however, was another detail. There was not a single earlier record of Andrew Carlson. No files, no documents, no traces prior to March 2003. It was as if this man had not existed before. Carlson was officially charged, but disappeared under extremely strange circumstances from his prison cell before he could ever stand before a judge. No break-in, no alarm, no traceable escape route. From that moment on, he was never seen again, and to this day there is no explanation for what really happened to Andrew Carlson. The precision of Carlson's stock trades was flawless, a success rate that would be nearly impossible to explain even with the most advanced modern algorithms. His behavior during the arrest also remains striking. He appeared calm, almost as if he had expected this exact moment. And then there is his questionable disappearance. No traces, no explanation. As if he had simply vanished into thin air. Was all of this just an ingenious fraud? Or was Andrew Carlson telling the truth? Did he perhaps return to the year 2256, the year he claimed to come from? Where did he get all this information that allowed him to earn more than $350 million in just 2 weeks? And was this man, in the end, a real time traveler from the future? Who knows? And believe
from Nancy Pelosi.
Believe me, this was only the beginning. The truly shocking cases are still ahead of us.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel and give the
next one I played,
video a like.
The man
it's
from
completely
Turag
free
or something.
And helps us continue making exciting videos like this. Thank you. Number 9. The Time Traveler from the year 2300.
This one's pretty good. And I've talked about time travel, how I don't believe it could be possible because if you leave and time jump to, let's say, 200 years in the past or the future, you have got to land on the planet. You have to figure out all that math, or the computer needs to know where the Earth is at that time, at that exact moment. Even if it's just off a tenth of a second, you're going to wind up somewhere you didn't plan on. Possibly underground, in a tree, in space. Anyway, this one's good too.
This strangely looking man is named Gerald Gardner, and he caused quite a stir with an unbelievable claim. He stated that he had traveled to the year 2300, and what he had to say about the future and time travel is extremely fascinating. According to his own account, he worked for the British government and was part of a top-secret program dedicated to researching time travel. Only a small circle of insiders supposedly knew about this project, and absolute secrecy was mandatory. For his journey into the future, Gardner said he was paid a substantial amount of money. He was then sent on his way using a time travel machine, which he described as a large, highly complex, spherical object. This description alone raises more questions than it answers. At this point, Gardner went into even more detail. The spherical machine consisted of several interlocking layers that moved against each other during activation. The entire structure reportedly vibrated intensely, as if enormous amounts of energy were being released.
Duh.
And now it gets really interesting, because what Gardner explains next is absolutely gripping. Time, he said, is not a fixed line, but more like a film that can be fast-forwarded or rewound. Past, present, and future all exist simultaneously, not one after the other, as we usually imagine. Gardner emphasized that he knows this is difficult to grasp, but he was told that every single moment truly exists side by side. Time travel, therefore, does not mean traveling forward or backward, but jumping directly to a specific moment that already exists. Wait a second. Every moment already exists? A completely mind-blowing idea. What Gardner reported about the year 2300 sounds even more astonishing. He described a world that is barely comparable to our current reality.
Thank you, Happy 2026. $5 super duper chat. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Happy New Year to you and yours. And we're heading to 2300. Thank you for being a continuing supporter of GoofOn. And to continue this video, apparently he says some things that are fascinating. Let's find out what this one said.
He spoke of cities floating in the air thanks to advanced anti-gravity technology, about 1,800 meters above the ground. These hovering metropolises can even be relocated when necessary. Absolutely fascinating. According to Gardner, this technology has a decisive advantage. Because the cities are no longer permanently connected to the ground, environmental pollution is drastically reduced. The Earth is able to regenerate, so to speak. But the future he described also had a dark side. Society is governed by an extremely powerful artificial intelligence that does not follow rigid laws, but flexible guidelines. Regarding this artificial intelligence, Gardner explained that it is not an ordinary program, but a higher-level system that evaluates every action in the context of overall balance. Its goal is not blind control, but stability, even if harsh measures are required. Those who violate these guidelines can be sent to labor camps for a period of time. In more serious cases, however, something far more disturbing happens. The consciousness of those individuals is removed from their bodies and transferred into a computer. From that moment on, they no longer exist physically, but continue to exist exclusively in a virtual state.
I don't buy it.
A deeply unsettling thought. Gardner explained that in this future, human consciousness is understood as a pure information structure. In this digital existence, one perceives the surroundings fully, but without a physical body. He compared it to a dream from which one never wakes up. At the same time, Gardner reported that in the year 2300, there is no money and no banks. Wars are also a thing of the past, as conflicts are prevented at an early stage by the artificial intelligence. Overall, he painted the picture of a highly advanced, peaceful civilization.
Joe Biden?
Despite the strict control, Gardner repeatedly emphasized the advantages of this form of society. He even said that he would have liked to stay longer in this future if he had been given the opportunity. In conclusion, Gardner mentioned that time travel is extremely dangerous. Every change triggers consequences on other levels. And that is exactly why such journeys are strictly limited and only permitted to a very small number of people. So did this man really travel to the year 2300? Is he describing the future toward which humanity is inevitably heading? But the next
I don't know. But one thing that was interesting is that they, he said they put your overall being in a computer. At least they're still using computers in 200 years. 300, basically. Can you imagine going that far into the future? The United States would be 2,500. No, it would be 550 years old. We're 250 this year. Go 300. It's 550. See what I did there? Yeah, there's so much stuff we don't know. I really do. I wish all of this would be under the pyramid. I want to get under those pyramids. I'm telling you, I'm so angry that we're not there. We should be digging up and going down those things right now. Why aren't we? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think we're being lied to. Again. I don't know. UFO attacks warship in the Arctic Circle. Have you heard this story? Yeah. Tony Dodd claims UFOs attacked Navy warships in the Arctic and says he was harassed and silenced after going public about it. It's a neat little story. I don't know. But time travel, mind travel. Apparently, the speed of thought is faster than the speed of light. True. And apparently, what is it? 2 molecules could be on different sides of the universe and they would understand what each one is doing. Like, I don't understand how that happens. That's just mind-blowing stuff right there. I know, we're living in a time, everything is just so new again with this AI.
Months ago, lecturing at a very big international conference there, and the subject of my lecture was information I was releasing about a confrontation between UFOs and our warships up in the Arctic Ocean. Now, I've got some very, very good contacts, and as Graham said, of course, these can't be named for obvious reasons, but I had contacts who were informing me that there was very large underwater craft that had been operating up from the Arctic Circle on the coast of Iceland, down past Norway, down to the coast of England, and that several warships have been sent to the area, including NATO warships, American warships, and also submarines. I was also told that what had happened was radar, the advanced warning radar, had picked up objects coming down and actually landing in the sea, up off the Arctic Circle once again. Now then, the next thing that happened, these things were seen to come down and enter the sea. The next thing that happened, the Icelandic fishermen, obviously Iceland, the whole of its economy is based on its fishing industry, and so they've got many fishing boats, reported seeing these huge underwater objects moving at fast speeds close to their boats, and in fact certain instances these things actually tangled with the nets of the fishing boats and tore them to shreds. There was a confrontation of some sort going on up there between our warships and whatever it was under the water, and this is what I was lecturing about in Las Vegas. And when I got down from my lecture, I was pulled to one side by certain people, and Wendell, who spoke previously, knows all about this because he was at the same conference. And I was warned in no uncertain terms that if I carried on the way I was going to be killed. Excuse me. They also got my wife and threatened my wife. And they said I was a very dangerous person. I was releasing top secret information which wasn't for the public knowledge. And they would stop me. They said, I was told, make no mistake, they were going to stop me. They said it wasn't a case of don't do it again, it was a case you've gone too far already, so you're a marked man. That's what they said. And their parting shot with me was, watch your car when you're driving in future. Now the significance of that was that when I'd been on the stage, I had been telling them about an incident where somebody who had been releasing information 12 months earlier in Germany had been killed in a road accident. And he had been releasing information similar to what I'd been talking about. Now when this chap was killed in the road accident in Germany, the German police said that he'd been drinking heavily, etc., which led to the accident. Which was a load of rubbish because this man had been teetotal all his life. So that's when the significance of watch your car when you're driving it in future came into the equation. So what I do is I tell everybody about it. So if anything happens to me, you'll know why. And that's my safeguard, my protection. I was in America 2 years ago, and I was talking in Tucson in Arizona at the World UFO Congress there, and I was talking about an incident which all certainly investigators know about, but perhaps other people don't, where the UFO crashed in South Africa and the UFO was recovered plus live aliens. And I was lecturing in Tucson, Arizona about that. And on that occasion, when I came down off the stage, I was also taken to one side. That was a couple of years earlier. But this time it was by the CIA. And they weren't quite as belligerent towards me. They certainly threatened me and said, look, we have means of stopping you. If you carry on the way you are, we're going to stop you one way or the other. Make no mistake about it. You're causing upset, you are. You're rocking the boat, if you like. And we have means to stop you. And I said to them at the time, I said, no, you've got means to stop me. I said, but if you've got the means, stop me. Because I'm not going to stop unless they stop me. And that might seem a silly thing to say, but I've been in this thing now for 20 years. I've certainly been at it full time since I finished in the police. There are things out there which are occurring which the public has a right to know about. It affects the public. It is our future. And I think the public have a right to know about it. And I will do my damnedest to get to the bottom of this, and I will release it when I get it, and I don't care who it upsets.
Come on. Sometimes, you click on these buttons and they just don't react. Interesting. All of it. Everything. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I'm taking off. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And we'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, we'll get back to doing 90 minutes. I just don't feel that great still. So I will be back tomorrow. Should be okay by then. Thanks, everybody. And look, if you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out. For ufology, that is. All right. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Adios. Alien bless. Thank you, moderators, super chatters, newcomers, and veterans. Thank you for making this chat very enjoyable. And thanks for hanging out tonight. We'll see you on the flip side. Alien bless.
There's a weird thing. It's rotating. What was in the skies over Jerusalem, and why did it sound like it was treasured sites?